What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the DC Collectibles DC Essentials Nightwing. Here we do have Nightwing in the packaging. What we're going to do now is take a little break, get them opened up, and I'll have a better look at the figure inside. So stay tuned, everyone. And so here we have Nightwing posed and out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's actually take a look at what Nightwing comes with. Nightwing here does come with two accessories. He does come with his two S-Chroma sticks, or Kali sticks, whatever you want to call them. They are a little nice accessory, and I do mean little. They are very small, but they do fit in his hands, so I do like that. Other than that, Nightwing here doesn't come with anything. No alternate hands, no wingdings, no batarangs, no nothing. He just gets the really tiny S-Chroma sticks. So it's not the best, but at least he came with something. So with that out of the way, let's actually get a closer look at Nightwing. And so here we have a better look at Nightwing, and I have to say, they did a really good job with this figure. Now, me personally, I really don't like Nightwing having a blue mask. It's a little off to me, even reading the Nightwing comics. It just doesn't seem right, Nightwing with a blue mask. I always picture him with a black mask. But it works for what it is, and it is sculpted on his face. It's just risen a little bit, but I love the sculpt of his head. They gave him a really nice head sculpt. Another thing that's hard for me to wrap my head around is short hair. When I think Nightwing, I always think like maybe a medium cut. I'm not used to thinking of Nightwing having really short hair. But it does look good on the figure, and if you wanted to customize his head to be a Robin, you can do that, because Nightwing was Robin at one point. But overall, really love the head sculpt. The hair is also done really well, although there's no shading in it, there's no alternate paint, so it's just black. Which is a reoccurring theme on this figure. It's mostly black. Now let's talk about the Nightwing emblem here. It's really clean. I was actually worried that there would be a lot of smudges, maybe something fuzzy. It's actually quite clean. It's done well. You can see the head of the bird right there. Some really nice clean lines right here. On the back, same thing. Really nice, crisp, clean lines. I do like that. However, his arms are a little to be desired. You can see right here, there's a little bit of error right here on mine where the blues didn't quite match up, and then it is also a little light right here. You can see some of the black peeking through. On this side, it's even worse. You can see more black peeking through, and it is a little bit fuzzy on this arm. So I don't know why they were able to get this so clean, but then his arms are so not so clean. Moving on to his hands. The only other bit of paint are going to be on his knuckles. You can see each of his knuckles has blue paint. Even the knuckle right here on his thumb. Same on this hand. We do have his knuckles painted. I do like the fact that they detailed his gauntlet right here. It does look like he could be storing something. It also looks like a belt. This side, it's even more obvious that it's a belt, but it could be a utility belt of some kind. It is Nightwing. He doesn't wear a utility belt, so it's possible that he hides things in the belts on his arm. And then we get mostly black all the way down to his legs. And I say mostly black because there's some blue right here. Again, clean lines. They're not as crisp as they were at the top of his torso, but they are relatively clean. There's just not a lot of detail to talk about Nightwing, although you can see right here there's some black paint peeking through. Here it's a little bit cleaner, although we have some black paint peeking through right there. It's not too big of an issue, but he does feel a little plain. Maybe some sculpted detail would have gone a long way with this figure, just because Nightwing's costume is kind of plain. If they had sculpted this raised just a little bit so it adds something to his costume, it would have done wonders, because as it is, it just feels like a really generic black uniform, and I get that that's what Nightwing wears, but I don't know, just something to give this guy a little extra oomph in the mold would have been nice. But anyway, that's Nightwing's detail for you guys. So what we're going to do now is actually compare him to a few other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Nightwing posed next to a DC Multiverse Superman and a Marvel Legends Cyclops. Here we have Nightwing posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. And here we have Nightwing posed next to a DC Essentials Batman. And finally, here we have Nightwing posed next to a DC Universe Classics Nightwing and a DC Icons Nightwing. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a look at Nightwing's articulation. Nightwing does sport the standard Essentials articulation. If you don't know what that is, let's run through it really fast. He does have a ball joint in the head, although I didn't notice that his head does pop up just a little bit. Now, if you do that, his head is really, really loose. There's no added benefit to popping it off that ball joint, even in the slightest bit. It's just incredibly loose. You can put it back down and it just moves just fine. There's no issue there. But if you do pop it up just a little bit for a little added articulation, just be aware that his head will be incredibly loose. He does have a hinge in the neck, which does let him look up and down quite a bit. He can bury his head into his chin. Arms on a ball joint go out. The left arm, for some reason, doesn't want to go as far as the right arm. I've been having that issue with so many figures that the left arm doesn't want to go full horizontal. He does rotate all the way around. Has a bicep joint. He has double bend in the elbow, swivel, and a hinge in the wrist. No issues there. He has an ab crunch which goes back about that far, comes forward about that far. He has a swivel in the waist. Legs do go forward to about there, go back, go out, no issues. We have a thigh swivel, double bend in the knee. We have a boot cut, which I don't know why he has a boot cut that high up. He does rotate at the ankle, has a hinged ball joint in the ankle, which I really don't like this design because once you get it in a certain way, there's no standing him up straight because now his ankle is at a really awkward angle and it does take some fidgeting to get that the way it should be. But overall, really good articulation here on Nightwing. So what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Nightwing posed for my final thoughts. Overall, I really do like the way this figure came out. The articulation on him is stellar, with the exception of the ankles. I really do wish that DC Collectibles would do away with a ball joint ankle. It really does not work. It makes standing these figures a really hard challenge, but once you get them standing, they do look nice together. Now, if you are looking for Nightwing and the rest of the DC Essentials line, they are starting to hit comic book stores right now. I was fortunate enough to pick up my Nightwing from my local comic book store, so huge shout out to Asylum Comics for getting this out to me so I could review it for you guys. Now, the DC Essentials line is going to run you anywhere from $22 to $28. You just got to check prices, ask around, see which stores have the lowest price. But other than that, I really do recommend this figure, especially if you're a fan of the Rebirth series Nightwing, which he is based off of, or you're just a fan of Nightwing like I am. This is going to be a great figure to have in your collection, and you can't live without another Nightwing figure. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other DC Essential videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. And don't forget to check out my Instagram for more action figure news. I post videos, pictures there, so check that out. So with that being said, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.